Most people either skip the cover letter entirely or spend 2 hours writing something that sounds exactly like everyone else. Today, I'm going to show you how to write a compelling tailored cover letter in under 10 minutes using AI. One that sounds like you, speaks directly to the employer, and works alongside the CV you built in day 5. This is day 6 of the 30 Days AI Job Upgrade Challenge. I'm Eric, an AI specialist and founder of the AI Vision Consulting. We've now covered why applications disappear, how to find your best match roles, how to write your CV with the XYZ formula, how to make it ATS friendly, and how to tailor it to one specific role. Today, we'll build a cover letter that completes the picture. Now, let me start by addressing the big question. Do cover letter actually matter? The honest answer is, it depends. Some employers don't read them, but many do, especially in mid-sized companies where hiring decisions are more considered. A strong cover letter can tip the balance when two candidates have similar CVs. A weak or generic one can actively hurt you. And when an employer asks for one specifically, not submitting a good one is a missed opportunity you cannot afford. So our goal is to write one that is genuinely useful without spending half a day on it. Now, here's what a strong cover letter actually does. It doesn't repeat your CV. It bridges your experience to the specific role. It shows you understand what the employer actually needs. It gives a brief, honest reason why you want this particular job. And it ends with a clear, confident call to action. Most bad cover letters do the opposite. They summarize the CV. They use vague phrases like, I am a dedicated and hardworking professional. They focus on what the applicant wants rather than what the employer needs. And they end weekly with something like, I hope to hear from you soon. Now, let me show you how AI fixes all of that. So we're going to use the same CV you built in day 5 and the job description from that same role. So everything can connect together. So the idea is that your CV, your cover letter, and your interview preparation should all be tuned to the same target. So first, I'm going to show you the prompt that we're going to use for today's cover letter. So just bring that up. So this is it. This is day 6. So this is the prompt you're going to use for today's cover letter. So the prompt says, act as an elite cover letter writing specialist in career transitions. I am applying for this role, so you have to paste the role you're applying for. Here is my tailored CV for this role. You also paste your CV, or if you have it, you can just attach it on the chat platform. Write a compelling cover letter for me following these rules. Opening paragraph starts with a strong, specific hook that immediately starts with a strong, specific hook that immediately signals I understand what this role is really about. Do not start with I am writing to apply. Do not start with my name is. Open with insight, urgency, or a direct connection to their mission or challenge. Second paragraph, show the strongest match between my experience and the top 3 teams in the job description. Use specific examples from my CV. Do not just list skills. Show evidence. This is very important. Then the third paragraph says, demonstrate that I understand the organization or sector. Connect my motivation to something real about this employer, this role, or this industry. Keep it genuine, not flattering. Then you close with the last paragraph. State my value in one confident sentence. Then add a clear, direct call to action, inviting them to review my application or speak further. So it's important to follow this process because this is a prompt that can tailor your cover letter to you, to the job specifically, and also connect you to what the company really wants and what they're actually looking for. So what I'll just do, I would first of all copy the job description. So we'll go with the same job from yesterday, which is this project coordinator role. I'll just go back to the. So for this prompt, what I just did just to change it to I'm applying for this role pasted below. So you have to paste the job description under the prompt. And also you paste your CV as well under the prompt. So that way you don't mix things up. It's easy for you to copy and understand what you're copying as well. So what we'll do, first of all, we'll need to copy this prompt. So we copy this prompt and you copy and you go back to your chat platform. So I'm still using my Claude. You can still use any of the chat model you prefer. So I'm using Claude. I'll go to a new chat, then I'll paste that prompt. So the next thing would be to copy the job description. So I just copy from the same job we've been using since day one. And this is the project coordinator role. Copy this job description and I'll come down here. I'll paste that. Then the next would be to add the CV. So this is the same CV we've been using from the one, which is the same Rebecca Palmer CV for the care role. So, but this is the CV we've been written yesterday. So that's what you need to make use of. Don't use the original CV before yesterday. Make sure you use the CV that you worked on yesterday. So which is this? I'll copy this and I'll go back to that prompt and I'll paste that. So now Claude or your chat AI has everything, the prompt, the job description, and also the CV. So let's just run it and see what it comes up with. So what it's currently doing is creating the cover letter document using the instruction that I gave it, including the job description and also the CV as well. So that way it knows exactly what to work on and what to include on that cover letter. So let's just allow it finish and I'll show you the beautiful cover letter that I would have created. So if you see, based on what we instructed it actually a clean looking cover letter, but it followed exactly what we instructed it to do. Getting the complex engineering order from quotation to completion without errors. So it's adhered to prompt. At the opening paragraph, it says, start with a strong specific hook that immediately signals I understand what this role is all about. So, and they say, do not start with, I'm writing to apply, or do not start with, my name is, all those ones are not necessary. So this is a very strong hook that shows that we understand what the job role is all about. Getting the complex engineering order from quotation to completion without errors, delays, or documentation gaps demand someone who treats precision as a daily habit. So this is one of the requirements or responsibilities they're expecting from you or what they are looking for in an applicant. So that is what it's using as the first strong hook. So make the recruiting manager know that they really understand what the role is all about. So looking at this cover letter, it's just more than one page, just above one page. So it's 2 pages. But ideally, a cover letter shouldn't exceed one page. The rule is that you should or you must keep your cover letter just around 300 to 400 words. You must write in the first person confident English. And you should not use buzzwords like passionate, dynamic, team player, or hardworking unless it's backed by evidence. And do not repeat bullet points from the CV word for word. Summarize and connect. And also, the tone should be professional but human, not corporate or stiff. So what we need to do is to run this prompt or run this CV, this cover letter again, so that it rewrites and make sure it corrects whatever has been or the mistake that has been made or whatever has been added that is not supposed to be there. But before we do that, let's just quickly go through the cover letter and see what it's actually all about. So if you look at the first paragraph or the opening paragraph, it references something specific from the job description rather than a generic intro. So that's basically what it's talking about. And also the second paragraph actually pulls 2 or 3 real examples from the CV and it connects them to what the employer asked for. And if we go to the third paragraph, it also shows awareness of the sector or organization rather than just talking about what the applicant wants and closes with confidence rather than apologetic. So look at it. It says I'll bring the same discipline, organization, and relentless attention to detail to your project order. So if you go through yours, you see exactly that this third paragraph is connecting what you've done to what the organization actually wants, making them understand that you know what their goal is, you know what their policy is, and you understand that, and you're willing to bring the experience you have. Now, I want us to also compare what the traditional way of writing cover letter is to what we have at the moment, looking at just this opening line, the opening paragraph of this. So before now, what we normally see is that people say something like, I'm writing to apply for the project support officer role or the project coordinator role as advertised on your website. I believe I have the skills and experience required for this position. So that's basically what we usually write in those days. But now, what this prompt has been able to help us generate is something closer to what the recruiter will be happy to read. So it says, getting a complex engineering order from quotation to completion without errors, delays, or documentation gap demands someone who treats precision as a daily habit, not a periodic effort. So this is not the traditional or usual stuff where you just write about introducing yourself, telling us why you want the job. Nobody cares why you want the job. What the recruiter is looking for is somebody that understands the role and is willing to bring their experience into what the company's policy is or what the company's goal is and align both together, which is what we've done on this cover letter. Now, let's look at the second prompt, which I talked about, which will help us to tighten our first draft. It's more like helps to personalize the cover letter better than what we have on this first one. So this second prompt says, now review this cover letter and identify any sentence that sounds generic or could have been written by anyone. Replace it with something more specific to my background or to this employer. Check the opening line. If it does not immediately create curiosity, rewrite it. Check the closing. If it sounds passive or weak, make it more direct and confident. Flag any buzzwords that are not backed by evidence in the letter and remove them. So what we'll do is that we'll copy the prompt, copy, and we'll go back to the same AI. I'll just close this. So now it already has the cover letter. So what I just need to do is just to paste the prompt to it and allow it to run and do what it needs to do. So with what we've given it now, it will go back to that cover letter that that's written and check against everything we've asked it to look at. So you see it's scrutinizing, opening paragraph. Let me do a proper critical pass before rebuilding. So now what it just did is, first of all, it's going through to see based on the bullet points we're giving it from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So first one is check the opening line, getting a complex engineering order. So first it checks the opening line. It checks for generic sentences, which it has flagged. It checks for weak closing and also checks for buzzword without evidence in the letter. So it has seen all these things already. Even though the first cover letter it wrote looks good, but somehow it still contains some of those things that are not allowed or that you should not use on the cover letter. So that's the reason why we're giving it the second prompt to do like a quality assessment on the cover letter. And I think that's the best way to work with AI. Even though you think that AI is smart or AI understands things, they give you what you want, but you should still try and ask them to double check what they've given you. Most times you realize that what they gave you might not be the exact thing you want. So if you give them a different prompt for them to double check or for them to check the quality of what they've given you, you realize that it might be one or two things that they shouldn't have added or that they added that they need to take out. So that way you'll be able to clean up whatever you've received from them. So if you can see, it has pointed out some of the buzzword which he needed to remove, the weak closing words, and also pointed out some generic sentences. So 6 generic sentences removed and replaced. So that's what it has done. The closing, tighten, remove relentlessness. So basically, it has gone through to help us quality check what we've done so far. So this is better. And let's see, I spent the past 5 years managing documentation for 28 residents with complex needs and as you can see, continuing single miss. So if we say this first paragraph now sounds like a very strong hook. So it's much more stronger compared to the first one that sounds a bit complex. So this alone explains what the person has done, how many years of experience, and how the person fits that role. So this hook is strong enough for them to see, okay, this person has managed documentation for 28 residents, complex needs, and also has spent 5 years doing this. So this person might be or might have that experience that we're looking for. So now that it has given us this second draft on what the cover letter should look like, another thing we should also take note of is it still has some of these end dashes that makes it look like you can take out those things yourself. You can also go through to read everything just to make sure that it sounds like you before you just like the way we did the CV yesterday, you can go ahead and do the final polishing yourself. But I'll just ask you to go ahead and take out some of these things. And I also need it to make it just one page. So it should be with between 300 to 400 words. It shouldn't exceed that. So it does not spill over to the next page. So one page is best. So what I'll just say is, I want you to go through the cover letter again and make sure you take out everything or take away everything that makes it look like it was written by an AI. The M dashes and every other word that makes it sound like AI written cover letter. So I want it to sound naturally like human written. And also, I want it to be between 300 to 400 words. So it shouldn't exceed one page. So that has been pasted. I'll just send it. So now to go back and rewrite that cover letter just to make sure that it doesn't sound like AI and also to make sure that it's just within one page. So that's the rule behind writing a cover letter. And one important thing before you finalize, always read out the cover letter after AI has finished writing it. If any sentence makes you stumble or sounds unlike you, rewrite it in your own voice. The goal is a letter where AI helps you to get the best version of what you actually want to say. If a hiring manager calls you and asks about something you wrote, you should be able to speak to it confidently. And also verify whether the employer has given any specific instruction for the cover letter, like word limit, specific questions they want answered, or a particular format. If they have, then you have to paste those instructions into the prompt before running it. So the AI will adjust accordingly. So if you can see, it has actually adhered to the instruction of removing the dashes and also making it sound more human and also reduce the word count. It's no longer more than one page, just inside one page. So let's just read the first paragraph again and see. See, for the past 5 years, I've managed compliance documentation for 20 residents with complex needs under CQC regulation, where a missed record or a gap in an audit trail has real consequences. So basically, it still followed the same prompt instruction we gave it, but just that it has written it in a way that it doesn't sound like AI generated, it sounds more like human. So this is the final polishing you have to give to your cover letter to make it sound more human instead of looking at it as something that was generated by AI or something. So that's basically how you do this. So the next thing will be to download this, or if the AI that you use did not write it in in a cover letter or a note, a Word document format, so you can just go back, you can just highlight and copy everything and paste on your own Word document. But because this AI already did that for me, I just downloaded it and let me open it for you to see. So now this is the cover letter it has written. And if you go through this, you'll see that this is much more human-like. So this is basically how you write a much tailored cover letter, which helps you get that attention of the recruiting manager. So once anybody goes through this cover letter, it doesn't look so much for them to read. It's very precise and it explains exactly what you want them to see with the same instruction that was given to it from the prompt we use. Okay, so here is your day 6 action. Take your tailored CV from day 5 and the job description it was built for. Run the two prompt cover letter system. Read the final version out loud and adjust anything that doesn't sound like you. Save it as a PDF alongside your CV. Name it clearly, like first name, last name, project coordinator, cover letter, something like that. And make sure you drop a comment below with one line from your cover letter opening. Just the first sentence. I want to see how you're starting and I'll provide feedback on anything that could be stronger. Tomorrow in day 7, we are going to zoom out and look at your full application package, CV, cover letter, and how to find and apply for roles strategically rather than just responding to random posting. We'll build a simple job search system that keeps you organized and focused. If you've not already, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a day of this challenge. And share this with one person who has been skipping cover letters or writing them in a panic the night before. And remember that the free AI job search prompt pack is being built day by day and it will be dropped at the end of the 30-day challenge. See you on day 7.